My name is Madison Barra, and welcome to my podcast, where it's all about teaching you how to lose weight, keep it off, and actually enjoy the process. I've lost over 70 pounds, and these are the failures and lessons I've learned along the way. Hope you enjoy and subscribe.
Now, moving on to the weight loss battle that you didn't even know you were losing. Let me paint you a picture. There was this grandmother, and she took all of her grandkids out to a campfire. She sat them around the campfire, they were enjoying their s'mores, and then the grandkids, they all of a sudden went, Grandma, tell us a story, tell us a campfire story. And so the grandma sat there and she was thinking about which story she should tell. And so she started. She said, there was this great battle of two wolves. One was the dark wolf, and it represents evil, greed, anger, jealousy. And the other wolf was the light wolf, and it represents good, hope, love, generosity. And these two wolves, since the dawn of time, have been battling it out. Fighting to win. When you think the dark one's going to win, the light one wins. When you think the light one's going to win, the dark one wins. And they've been fighting this, and this battle still has not ended. And all the grandkids with their bright eyes are staring at Grandma, listening to the story. And then the grandma goes, and did you know that these wolves were battling inside you? Each and every one of us has an evil and a good wolf. And then one of the smallest grandkid, the smallest one, pipes up and says, Grandma, which is going to win? Which one wins? And the grandma, with all the love in her heart, looks at her little grandkid and says, my dear, of course, the one that you feed. You see, we are so influenced, our emotions, our actions, and our thoughts, by what we feed ourselves. What have you been feeding yourself? You see, if we constantly complain, if we constantly think of why we can't, why it's hard, why it's impossible, why is it easier for other people? When you're thinking of that type of stuff, that negative, pessimistic mindset, you're feeding your dark wolf inside you. And when you're thinking of abundance and caring and kindness and love and hope and everything always works out and I can do this, you're feeding your light wolf, the good wolf inside you. But here's the thing, most women up until this point didn't know that they had this battle inside them and didn't know that these two wolves were battling it out. You didn't know. And so this whole time, every time we thought of a little excuse, a little complaint, we let a little negative thought or something that was even a neutral thought, just not on the positive side, we're feeding this dark wolf and you didn't even know it. If you are not waking up and asking yourself, how can I feed my good wolf today? You will by default always feed the dark one. By default. Why? Because it is easy to complain. It is easy to find flaws. It is easy because life is not easy. And so therefore, a lot of hard things happen throughout the day, a lot of challenging things, a lot of things that test us. And when we get tested, we don't necessarily show up as the best version of ourselves. And why else is it hard to stop feeding the dark wolf? Well, we are some of the top 5 people we spend the most time with. And sometimes we can't control who those people are. Maybe one of our parents is very negative. Maybe one of our coworkers, our boss, our children. Somebody in your life makes it easy for you, pulls you in the gravitational pull of negativity. You know one of those? Those energy vampires? You leave feeling worse about yourself after you spend time with them? You know one of those people? And so if you're the sum of the top 5 people that you spend the most time with, if they have been feeding their dark wolf, guess what you're doing? Feeding your dark wolf. And for so long, I fed my dark wolf. And every now and then I do too, but I can recognize it and I can fix it immediately. I used to literally wear the same clothes over and over again. When I was overweight, I was so uncomfortable in my skin. I can picture it. It was a gray hoodie and it was Lululemon tights because they were nice and stretchy in the waistband and they could pull all the way up just under my nipples, could suck everything in. It was wild. And I would wear this almost every day. And so much so that my family started making fun of me. And I would tell them, I'm only wearing this because it's like really comfortable. It's like the most comfortable thing I own. But really, it was the only thing that fit me. And that's why I wear it all the time. And I remember having a couple weddings coming up that I needed to buy a dress for, and I went dress shopping, went to the mall. Nothing fit right. Nothing looked good, and the horrible fluorescent lighting in the change rooms made me feel even worse about myself. Could see all my rolls, my cellulite. I looked tired and unhappy and unhealthy. I'd leave buying a dress that I was like, well, this will do, instead of like loving it. Instead of loving how I looked and how I felt, and then carrying that energy with me throughout the day and helping other people feed their good wolf. I just kept feeding this dark wolf. And then, the way that I spoke to myself wasn't any better. When you look in a mirror, stand in a mirror right now, what's the first thing you think? You go and you analyze and you scroll through your whole body and you point out all the flaws. I got that pimple today, I gotta pluck that hair, having a bad hair day, gotta hide that roll. How do I get rid of that stretch mark? That cellulite, covered up, right? Like, covered up. The first thing we do is we think of our flaws and we pick them apart. But we would never do that to our child. We would never do that to our best friend, would we? It's time to start treating yourself like your best friend. When you do that, you're going to feed your good wolf by default. Speak to yourself like you're going to speak to your best friend. You would never speak to your best friend the way that you've been speaking about yourself, especially when it comes to your weight loss journey and your belief in yourself. It's crazy to think that all these years we've been feeding this dark wolf without even realizing it. No one tells us. No one told us. Now that you know, you can pay attention. There's repercussion for the excuse that you made. There's repercussion for the complaining. There's repercussions for that one little, maybe it's not even a severe comment, like, oh, I look tired today. Maybe it's just like that one little, maybe a little negative comment. There's repercussions. Maybe you just fed that dark wolf a little snack. Maybe it wasn't a full-on meal. You still fed him. He's still alive. You're trying to starve him. Starve him. He's been around too long. You deserve to embrace your good wolf. And I remember I didn't fully embrace this concept until one day I was running down some stairs and I got a lot of momentum. You get a lot of good momentum and you're just letting your feet do their thing. And on the way down, I clipped my toe. I clipped one of my little toes and it snapped. And it was literally like 90 degrees. It was gross. It was wild. Maybe I'll find a picture and post it right now. I snapped my toe. And it was one of my little toes too. And instantly I couldn't walk. So I hopped to the car and I had to go to the emergency room and it was broken and I needed, to get it literally snapped back into place and then splinted. But for like 6 to 8 weeks, I could barely walk. Like, it was painful. And I never knew that this one little toe could have such a big effect. Have you ever sneezed and then pulled a back muscle? You're like, what the hell? You didn't realize how much you use your back until you pull a muscle, right? So this toe was like my kryptonite. It was crazy. I could barely walk anywhere. I needed help. I had to hop some places and that was exhausting and it just really put me out. And over these kind of 6 weeks of recovery, I was really reflecting on how for granted I'd taken my body. How for granted I've taken one little toe. One little toe helped me so much in life. And here I was treating myself like crap. Not breathing, or at least not breathing life into myself. You're beautiful. You're worthy. You're awesome. You can do it. You can do anything. You crush challenges. You overcome obstacles. This is nothing for you. This is easy. This is not hard. I wasn't breathing life into myself. And my body has never stopped protecting me since the moment my heart started beating. It has been on my side. Yet I've been tearing it apart and abusing it. Whether feeding it improperly, starving it to try and lose weight. Thinking it's never good enough. Isn't that crazy? It has never stopped helping me even though I've treated it so poorly. So poorly. And this challenge is so cool because what it's going to help you do is get out of your head. Get out of your head and into a group of like-minded women on the same mission as you, same goals, same journey, trying to starve that dark wolf. And all we do is create this circle of gratitude with this energy, this aura that people can feel. Whether or not you're religious, you can't debate the fact that when you hear a beautiful choir sing a hymn, you get goosebumps. It's because when you come together with the right energy, you create what's called a mastermind. And you can work together in that mastermind to accomplish bigger, better things faster. And that's what this challenge is. That's what a weight loss support community does. That's what Tremera specializes in. A safe, sacred space where you can use everybody else's energy to help you starve that wolf and feed the other one. It's crazy. And, it's not going to be perfect. We can't just snap out of negativity, because negativity is kind of our default mode, right? It's kind of like we're animals, we're cavemen. And so the negativity is like a coping mechanism and a defense mechanism, right? We have to be negative and analyze and judge in order to protect ourselves from saber-toothed tigers from back in the day, Is this a safe place to rest? Is this a safe tree to climb, So it's kind of innate habit that we've had forever, and it's kind of in our DNA. So it's going to pop up, but the more you practice, the less strong it gets. And the more you're going to realize that it's there. So what you have to do is, for every kind of negative thing that comes out of your mouth, or that you act out, or that you think, just counteract it with 2 positive things. If you wake up one day and say, God, my stomach is huge, just stop saying, it's beautiful, and I'm working on it, and I'm excited about my results. I'm excited to meet my future me. Every one negative, combat it with 2 positives. So that 1 positive cancels out the negative, and then we're going to feed that wolf, that good wolf, with that extra positive. Do that all day long. Let's say you completely blow up on your birthday and eat an entire cake. That's 1 negative. Go eat a carrot before bed and pray before bed. Pray about what you're grateful for. 2 positives for every 1 negative. And you will starve that wolf without even realizing it. It's simple. It's not as insane as you think it is. It's not as complicated as you think it is. It doesn't take as long as you think it is. You see, the thoughts of, I can't do this, my metabolism is too slow, I'm too old, this isn't for me, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, that's not you talking. That's not your higher self talking. Do you think future you, who's reached your goal, talks like that? Or do you think she does whatever it takes to reach her goal because she knows how important it is and life-changing it is, and how much it helps other people in her life? Those thoughts of, this isn't going to work, this is impossible, or even just saying weight loss is hard, that is the dark wolf winning. He is influencing you. He's taking over your mind and talking through you, using you as a channel. Those negative thoughts aren't you. You and that good wolf, that's you. That is part of you. The negative dark wolf, not part of you. It's the devil. He's stealing your mouth, stealing your mind, and using it to make himself stronger. And we don't have to do that anymore. There was this lady that worked with me in our one-on-one coaching program, and this story gives me chills every time. This is one of my favorite stories. April came to us, and she wanted to lose lots of weight, and she told me her goal. She told me her goal number, her crazy goal number. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. We can totally hit that number, and we can hit it fast. And we hit it. Right? April lost over 50 pounds, which is amazing. But I didn't know until after she lost the weight. She told me this. She told me that years ago, before she found Tremera, she hired a personal trainer to help her with her weight loss. And when she was telling the trainer her dream goal, the trainer actually laughed at her and said, that's not going to happen. That's not very realistic. You should probably change your goal. And that broke my heart. Because April said, that's the reason she hadn't tried to lose weight for so long, because that trainer discouraged her. That trainer told her that goal is not good. That goal is never going to happen. And that fed her dark wolf. And then she continued to feed that dark wolf after the fact. But when you find the right amount of people that feed you the right energy to feed that good wolf, then it's easier for you to figure out how to do that. Then you feed your good wolf on autopilot. Right? Like, we want health to be as easy as brushing our teeth. We don't even want to think about it. It just fits in our lives. I am healthy. Not I do healthy things. I am healthy. Because that is who I am. That's what I wake up and embody. And so the story of April is so beautiful because you can do it. But if you think that you can't, or you let other people tell you you can't, or you let other people say, 1 bite won't hurt, start fresh tomorrow, you don't even need to lose weight. Why are you trying to? If you let other people dictate, they're also contributing to your dark wolf. It is time to cut that off. Be like April. Try again. Even though maybe you don't even believe it sometimes. Try again. Feed yourself nothing but positivity. Watch that good wolf take over, and you accomplish great things because you have the energy. When you vibrate at a high frequency, when you're as annoyingly energetic and bubbly as I am, you accomplish better things because you have a better attitude. And when you have a better attitude, you enjoy things more. One of the biggest reasons most women fall off their weight loss journey is because they hate the journey. It's torture. They don't get to eat the food, the things that they love. They don't see the results they want fast enough. What's the point of going through life if you hate it? You have to enjoy the journey if you're ever going to enjoy the destination. So be like April. Try again. Feed that good wolf. It's not as hard as you think. It starts with counteracting those negative thoughts that you feel. So thank you guys for tuning in to our motivational call today. Please comment your takeaways down below. That's how we cement what we're learning for actual permanent change moving forward. So we're not just going to lose weight and gain it back. If you want to keep the weight off, you've got to reflect on what I'm teaching, okay? Also, make sure you're spreading glow in the comments. Take a second, go comment on some other ladies' posts, get to know them, build up your weight loss karma. It literally is going to 10x your results. It's going to skyrocket your results because, like I said, attitude and energy are important. Go help somebody else. Give them that energy and attitude. They're going to give it back to you. And then we build this mastermind together.
If you found this podcast valuable, I hope you can leave a 5-star review. And if you want to learn more about how to lose weight fast and for good, visit Tremera.com. Thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode.